Chapter 3. The Power of Chi. That evening, Poe walked sadly through the sculpture garden. He saw a few of the palace geese pass by, and he hid. "I'm glad we're not Poe right now," said one of the geese. "What a loser," said another. What was Shifu thinking? What was Oogway thinking? Then they noticed Poe hiding beside them. "I think he heard us," one of the guards said. "I didn't hear anything," Poe replied, coming out of his hiding spot. "He said you're a loser," the first guard said, toddling off with the others. Poe looked up at the statue of Oogway, the elderly tortoise who had been the senior master of the Jade Palace before Master Shifu. It was Oogway who had named Poe the Dragon Warrior shortly before he ascended into the spirit realm. "Sorry, Oogway," Poe said to the statue. He sighed, then turned to go and ran into Master Shifu. "Ah!" Poe cried. "Would you stop doing that?" "How was your first day teaching?" Master Shifu asked. "Humiliating." "I heard." "Who told you? Did Tigress tell you?" "I heard. The roof collapse, the cries of pain. And Tigress told me." "Yeah, well. Did she also tell you that it'll never happen again?" Poe snapped. "Because I am done." "Teaching or being humiliated?" Shifu asked. "Both. I don't know why you ever thought I could teach that class." Shifu looked at Poe calmly. "If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are now." "I don't want to be more," Poe cried. "I like who I am." Shifu shook his head. "You don't even know who you are." "Of course I do," Poe said. "I'm the Dragon Warrior." "And what exactly does that mean, Dragon Warrior?" "It means, just going around and punching and kicking. Defending the valley and stuff." "Punching and kicking? You think that is what the great Master Oogway saw for you? A 500-year-old prophecy fulfilled, so you could spend your days kicking butt and running through the town high-fiving bunnies?" "Yes," answered Poe in a tiny voice. "No," Shifu said firmly. "Oogway saw greatness in you, Poe, against my better judgment. More than you can see in yourself. Incredible power awaits you. Power beyond anything you can imagine." Master Shifu stood up and began a series of slow, practiced movements. As he moved, a golden light began to gather in his hands. He brought his hands together and then directed the flowing energy to a tiny flower bud at the base of the Oogway statue. The bud immediately opened to reveal a beautiful flower. Poe stared at him in wonder. "Whoa, what was that?" "That was Chi." "Whoa, what's Chi?" Poe asked. "The energy that flows through all living things," Master Shifu explained. Poe's eyes widened. "So, you're saying if I teach, I'll be able to do cool stuff like that?" "No, I'm saying if you teach, then I'll be able to do cool stuff like that," Master Shifu replied. "Mastering Chi requires mastery of self." Oogway sat alone in a cave for 30 years asking one question: "Who am I?" "I'm lucky if I get 5 minutes before you interrupt." "Oh, so now I have to sit alone in a cave for 30 years? Poe whined. "Eventually. After you master teaching," Master Shifu said. "Teaching?" Poe asked. "There's no way I'm ever going to be like you." "I'm not trying to turn you into me," Master Shifu said. "I'm trying to turn you into you." He plucked the flower, handed it to Poe, and walked off. Poe was more confused than before. "Turn me into me? Wait a second, that makes no..." He called after Master Shifu. "Almost there, Shifu. Just a little more confusing, and you'll be the next Oogway." Poe looked up at the Oogway statue. "Oh, sorry. No offense, Master Oogway," he said. "I'll let you get back to your eternal peace." Chapter 4. A Stranger in the Valley. Kaboom! A chi portal split open, carving a massive crater into the ground. Kai emerged from the glowing green portal, his eyes blazing with chi energy. He had landed in a field being farmed by a rabbit and a goose. He shot out his blades to keep the farmers from fleeing. Terrified by the sight of Kai, the goose laid an egg. "What is this place?" Kai asked. My brother's farm," the rabbit ventured. "Ah," Kai nodded. "If I stepped on you, would you die?" The frightened goose dropped a few more eggs. "Yes," the rabbit replied nervously. Kai grinned. The mortal realm. He had returned finally, after 500 years. He looked down at the Oogway amulet around his neck. "You hear that, Oogway? I'm back," he said. He raised his muscled arms in the air. "Kai has returned." The rabbit and the goose looked blankly at each other. "Who?" asked the rabbit. "Kai, General Kai, Supreme Warlord of all China," Kai said. The two farmers shrugged. "The Jade Slayer, Master of Pain. You may know me as the Beast of Vengeance." "Maker of Widows?" Kai tried. The goose shook his head. Kai sighed. "Okay, I used to work with Oogway." The rabbit and goose lit up. "Oh, Master Oogway. Now he was a great warrior," said the rabbit. The goose nodded. "Everyone knows Master Oogway, the wise and mighty." "Okay, enough," Kai said. He took several amulets from his belt and tossed them onto the ground. They transformed into kung fu masters made of jade. "Find Oogway's students and bring them to me," Kai ordered. The jade masters, now under Kai's control, ran off. Kai lifted up Oogway's amulet. "By the time I am done with them, Oogway, there will be no one left who will even remember your name. Kai is coming." Ghostly green chi illuminated Kai's face as the rabbit and goose shivered with fear. That same night, Po visited his dad's noodle shop. Mr. Ping was a goose who had adopted Po when he was just a baby. Through the years, he always made sure the growing panda had plenty of noodles and dumplings to eat. And he was always a good listener when Po was sad or worried. Po was taking a bath with his kung fu action figures in a big wooden tub in the alley behind the noodle shop. "Teach me? Oh no, it's the dragon teacher," he made one action figure say. "Class is in session. Would-I-ee," he said with another. Suddenly, Mr. Ping burst into the alley. Po jumped in surprise. "Oh hey, Dad. What's up? I was just stopping by for a little soak," he said, hiding the figurines underwater. "Okay, what's wrong?" Mr. Ping asked. "Nothing," Po lied. He casually shook some bath salts into the tub. "Nothing. I come home to find you taking a bath with your dolls." "Action figures," Po corrected him. "And instead of adding bath salts to the water, you just added Szechuan peppercorns," Mr. Ping informed him. Po yelped. "Szechuan, oh my tenders, hot." He quickly poured some cool water into the bath and sighed. "Okay, yes, something's wrong," Po admitted. There, son. Tell your daddy all about it," said Mr. Ping gently, as he grabbed a scrub brush and began scrubbing under Po's arm. "Lift your arm." Po launched into his problem. "Shifu says, I don't know what it means to be the dragon warrior. And now I have to be a teacher? I thought I finally knew who I was. If I'm not the dragon warrior, who am I?" There was a heavy silence until his dad broke in. "A teacher? Teaching kung fu? Po, that's a promotion. Take the job, son. And someday, when you're in charge of the whole Jade Palace, I can sell noodles in the lobby. Woo-hoo." He turned back to Po. "Why are you still here taking a bath like a baby? Get out. Get up. Go, go." Go. Franchise expansion awaits us. Mr. Ping hoisted Po out of the tub and began to towel him off. But what about the Dragon Warrior dumpling eating contest? I have to defend my title, Po reminded him. No one's going to beat your dumpling eating record, Mr. Ping assured him. A pig poked his head into the alley. Someone's about to beat your dumpling eating record, he cried. Po and Mr. Ping looked at each other in disbelief. They hurried into the restaurant. A crowd of villagers was gathered around someone and cheering, but Po couldn't see who was eating the dumplings. Go! 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 The pigs and rabbits chanted. Who's eating my dumplings? Po demanded. And who's paying for them? Asked Mr. Ping. They pushed through the crowd to see the back of a huge, vaguely familiar figure leaning over a table. He was picking up dumplings and stuffing them into his mouth faster than Po had ever thought possible. 101, 102, the villagers counted. The big stranger pounded his fist on the table. Then he leaped up and turned, his arms raised in triumph. 103, yeah, he cried, his mouth full of dumpling. Po and Mr. Ping gasped. The stranger was a panda taller than Po and almost twice as wide. Po was stunned. When he was just a baby, his village had been attacked. Po's mother had made sure he was safe. Po believed he was the only survivor. No other panda had ever been seen in the valley for years. Who are you? Po asked. The stranger held up a finger, pounded his chest, and then swallowed his last bite of dumpling. I'm Shen. I'm looking for my son, he said. Everyone gasped. The villagers all looked at Po. Mr. Ping looked at Po. You lost your son? Po asked. Li nodded. Yes, many years ago. I lost my father, Po said. I'm very sorry, said Li. Thank you, said Po. Well, good luck to you, said Li. You too, said Po. I hope you find your son. And I hope you find your father. Po and Li both turned to walk away. The bunnies and pigs shook their heads. The villagers looked back and forth from Po to Li. How could these two pandas not see the truth? Then the two pandas stopped. Po looked at Li's green eyes and his big belly and furry feet. Li did the same thing. Son? Asked Li. Huh? Po asked, still not quite getting it. Li's eyes lit up. Oh my gosh, it is you, Po gasped. He finally realized it. Li was his long-lost father. Well, don't just stand there. Give your old man a hug, Li cried. Po ran forward and threw himself into Li's arms. His father squeezed him in a big panda bear hug. Mr. Ping watched them, his beak open in shock.